Hello! Okay, I'm gonna fiddle around with my camera. Make sure I'm as aligned as I could be. What are you stuck on? Good enough. Hi! How is everyone? Let's see. Hello from Arizona, from Exinilda. I still don't know how to pronounce it properly. Hello, Lisa and Moxie and Nightshade and Amelia and all of you guys. This is super exciting. My hair isn't fully dried from my shower, so if it starts frizzing up and levitating, I am not possessed. Just a heads up. Let's see, just finishing things up. So today's topic is going to be about books and witchy books and witchy chats. And I am hanging in there too. Things are going okay, kind of stabilizing, kind of getting better. I don't know, depends on how long you guys have been here with me. Things tend to kind of like attack my life, almost sort of. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a not so great way. But I ended up rescuing 5 baby bunnies about a month ago, and at the same time I got a new pet bird. Longer story than that. So now I have 6 new babies, but the bunnies are almost ready to be let go back out into the wild. Anyways, hello Johnny Dragon. Yeah, just gonna give it a couple more minutes, see if anybody else wants to hop on and just hang out with you guys. I suppose I can start off maybe with the current book that I'm reading, since I don't really have too much feedback on it, and then we'll kind of like go from there. So I'm gonna have definitely a couple genres. So it's gonna be pagan-based books, kind of like science-y books that I also intertwine with paganism, then just general fun books. Let's see, what else was I going to say? And like reference types of books, pagan-based reference types of books. And maybe just books that I'm interested in reading. And I'm totally going to be looking for a bunch of suggestions from you guys for more books to add to my endless list of things to read. So there's that. Let's see. So I am still deep into schoolwork. My new semester just started. There was like literally no I had a week and a half break between my summer semester and my now semester. So school continues, unfortunately. Let's see. All right, so the book that I'm currently reading is called Bewitching the Elements. All right, I want to know, guys, because here from my screen, it's mirrored, so it's not looking properly written. Is it mirrored on your side too, or is it just, or can you see the writing properly? Just want to make sure it's not looking weird. You can read it. Perfect. Thank you. So it's called Bewitching the Elements, and it's by Gabriella Hairstick. I'm about, I'd say, a third of the way done, and I started reading this book 2 months ago, and it's really filled with good information, but the author just seems so angry at the world, and the energy from it is very like heavy and difficult to kind of work through a lot of it at a time. So I like what she shares. I don't like the type of energy she ended up putting into the book. But it's a guide to empowering yourself through earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. So it definitely talks about good elemental information and things like that. Good morning, Peggy. Good morning, Kelly. Let's see. So yeah, that's the current book I'm reading, and it's going to take a little bit of time for me to get through it because I can only tolerate so much of it. Another book set that I'm currently reading is through audiobook. So I end up reading a couple books at a time. And one of them is through audiobook, and I'm listening to the Great Wizard of Oz, like the whole collection series, which is just adorable and I love it. So there's that. Let's see. If you didn't get notified, I'm not entirely sure how to help with that. Make sure you're subscribed or and you have that like bell icon clicked. Other than that, I don't know. I don't send out I'm not responsible for sending out the notifications with my YouTube live and that sort of thing. So that's the YouTube system itself. Yeah. What else? Okay, so next question for you. Do you want me to start off with like pagan correspondence type of books that I like, or just pagan like fun read books that I like, or should I just pick at random because I have a couple piles all around me so I wouldn't have to get up as much? The fiction lady, you get that. I assume you get that towards the energy of the book. Random? All right. Someone pick a number between 1 and, I don't know, 20. We're going to start off with that. 1 and 20. Random number. All right, first number that came up is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Currently 8 in the pile over here. So this is my complete book of correspondences. Well, it's not mine, but it's by Llewellyn, and it is one of my absolute favorite books to have on hand. It says it's complete. It is very much not complete, and let's see. But it has really good like starting points in regards to like the type of things that you could be used. So it has basic energy correspondences such as consciousness. I'm going to show you part of it. And it talks about what zodiac goes alongside with the energy of consciousness, like metals, crystals, zodiac's elements, if there's any gods that correspond with it, plants. But it's a very, very, I would consider it very basic or very simplified because there is way, way more than what it has in here, but it's a really, really good starting point. It also has things on trees, different things on trees and their information. So trees, herbs, crystals, let's see, some animals and what they're representing, some deities, what they represent, some things on zodiacs and what they represent. So it's like a really quick reference guide on some simple things. So are you watching hummingbirds on your porch? That is very, very cute. Let's see. Don't read many pagan books. There's a ton of books out there. So I'll go over a couple that I like. So yeah, and it has like, I like this book because if you need a quick reference or if you're trying to come up with a spell or a ritual or something like that and you need to like, I don't know, find out what would be the best zodiac sign to do it under, or if you're interested in working with deities for a specific thing. So good book, would definitely recommend. I will also by the end of tonight have all of the links and lists to these books posted on my website. So I'll copy and paste it like in this video under the description, but it'll be like a full comprehensive thing on my website and a little bit more organized than things that I can just put down in the description here. So yeah. And if you guys want to check out my website, little shameless plug, it is elenaenchanted.com. I'm going to type that in. It is very new, very little, but it's up, and I'm going to keep adding more and more things to it. So definitely a good book, and it's called The Complete Book of Correspondences by Llewellyn, and it has lots of different authors that contributed to it, I believe. Oh no, not this one. This one is by Sandra Kynes. There's a different book that has lots of different authors that contributed to it. Yeah, I would say this is definitely a reference book more on Western-based magic, not Eastern-based, because Eastern-based has correspondences that are slightly different, like especially with colors and their significance and their meanings alongside. So this is very Western-based, especially with some of the trees and plants and herbs that you can find more in the Americas type of region. Let's see. Hello, Grace. Hi, Melly Mel. So good to see you guys. Let's see. So new unboxing video will be coming up on Wednesday. I wanted to start off my comeback with like a different type of video, but it's taking much longer than I expected. Everything does. So new unboxing video will be posted on Wednesday. Yay, this Wednesday. The Wednesday that this 2 days from now. Okay, anyways. It's good to have you guys here too. All right, so that was, oh, sorry, doggy. I dropped the book down and scared her. Let's see. All right, let me scroll back to the number. Next number is 13, lucky number 13. So I counted from this pile. Let's count from this pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ah! So this is the book Paganism in Depth by John Beckett. I relatively enjoyed this book as long as you take the in-depth part out. So it's a very, I would say, broad explanation of what paganism means, but specifically to him and his practices, which isn't bad. I really enjoy seeing other people's perspectives and other people's religions and other people's kind of like the way that they practice and sort of stuff. So it's not in depth, and it's kind of like, well, I sort of do this, but you can do what you want, or you can do this. And it's not exactly like pinpointed, because I'm sure he's trying to reach like a broader audience. And this is his second book. His first book is what is his first book? I did get a couple. The Path of Paganism. Yeah, The Path of Paganism is his first book. This is his second book. And I do like how he posted a bunch of references of where he got some of his information. So that's another addition to some of the books that I wanted to read. Let's see. I wanted your opinion on this. When would you say one can start thinking of themselves as a witch? I started my path this year, but feel a bit of imposter syndrome. I've been doing lots of research. That's a very loaded question, and it's definitely based on your feelings and how your interpretation of this. Like, what does being a witch mean to you? What do you consider being a witch or a practitioner, or something along those lines? I would say I would say if you're feeling confident and comfortable working with the elements in your studies, learning your own energies and being able to understand your own energies, then you're starting to go more into that, like, I am a witch type of perspective. But it's definitely up to you. Um, and if you're feeling witchy and that you're really connected to this practice, this path that you're on, then you're a witch. um, my mom is very Christian, very, very Christian, Pentecostal Christian. But she does so many things that are very like witchy considered or pagan based. And I sometimes call her and tell her that she's a witch. And she just, like, if you can imagine a porcupine puffing up and having all of his like little spikes out, that's how she reacts to it each time I call her that. But she definitely has a lot of practices that correspond with paganism and witchcraft. So it's completely up to you. Yeah. Um, like a puffer fish. Puffer fish is also a really good example. And working on yourself and energy is actually a really good segue to one of my favorite books to recommend. It is a workbook, and it is like a, oh god, shadow work book. It's called The Great Work by Tiffany Lazick. This was actually recommended to me during one of my old lives, maybe like a year ago or something like that. Maybe, yeah, about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It is amazing. And it starts off by specific dates, and you go through it, like, you do a prompt once a day. And I really like it because there's a lot of psychology also involved with it, which is, psychology is a really big factor into witchcraft and shadow work, particularly shadow work, because you're learning yourself. And it has different guides and different seasons. And I believe it starts December, December what? What December? Big long introduction, which is wonderful. I think like maybe December 12th? December 22nd. No, December 21st. So it starts on Yule. And it's an emotional delve into like questions of yourself, like into shadow work and things like that throughout the whole entire year cycle. I would love, like I love going through this book. I'm not fully gone through with it because I just started this year, but I'm just loving the prompt. So there's information on it. For example, like chapter 1 is mythological reflection on the birth of the Wonder Child. And so the main themes for cycle 1 is place within your tribe, victory of order over chaos, rebirth of the light. And it's pagan based, it's in-depth based, and it's psychology based. So it's a really good start to have prompts and kind of like a guide of how to like start off your shadow work. So this is The Great Work by Tiffany Lazick. Hands down, would recommend. Let's see. What are you guys telling me? There are Christian witches, absolutely. Witchcraft and spirituality and like spell work and practicing with the earth and things like that is not a religion. It is a practice. So Wicca is a religion, and you can be a witch and you can be a Wiccan, or you can be a Wiccan and not be a witch. Same thing with Christianity, same thing with Buddhism, same thing with all of these different things. Witchcraft is not a religion, it is a practice. My hair is starting to levitate as it dries. Especially my bangs. Oh gosh. I didn't time my shower on time properly so that my hair would dry aesthetically enough for the live. Let's see. Just started your Wiccan journey. Awesome. Let's see. Hardest part of fear is doing something wrong. That's the part of learning. I consider mistakes not something that's bad, although it feels horrible, and I definitely feel horrible when I make a mistake or mess up or do something else, but it's a learning experience. And unfortunately, we are human. At least I assume the people who are here are human. It's a joke. Anyways, that mistakes help you learn and help you grow and help you figure out kind of what to do next or what not to do next. So they suck. They can hurt. They can set you back. They're awful. And I still need to kind of like give myself the speech duck when I make mistakes, but they're a growing process. They could be used as like helpful things, if that makes sense. Let's see. Someone else said conscious push to do shadow work after thinking about it for a year. It's tough. I always like to mention shadow work because it's not only something that's like I keep saying, spiritual based. It's something that's good for any individual who wants self-discovery or want to heal from traumas or want to understand their own mind and why they think what they think or how to help you think and learn and that sort of thing. And a lot of the time, shadow work is mentioned for like meditating or doing writing prompts or like healing your inner child, which is all great and wonderful. And you could totally do it at home and on yourself, by yourself, on yourself. You can help others, whatever the case might be. But seeing a therapist also helps a lot because psychology and shadow work it goes hand in hand. You're still learning yourself. You're still learning the way your mind works. You're still trying to understand what the traumas were and how they caused you to think however way you're thinking now. So shadow work and like seeing a therapy or therapist or psychologist or something like that go hand in hand, and that should not be something that people are afraid to do or afraid to reach out for or afraid to look for, because it helps. It helped me. It definitely helped me. Let's see. I grew up Catholic and now I think of myself as Christian. I feel like witchcraft is a practice and so healing and peaceful for me, but empowering at the same time. Awesome. I kind of went over that a little bit earlier, but that's awesome. Let's see. I feel I can be hard to myself at times, so I feel like I'm not quite deserving of thinking of myself as a witch because I'm still learning. I'm still learning too. I've been practitioner over, 12 years? Over 12 years, something over 12 years. And I'm still learning too. But I finally found my voice like a couple years back of like really owning the term calling myself a witch. And it's a difficult subject to breach of what you consider to be a witch. If you just meditate, I wouldn't exactly consider yourself as being a witch. If you just kind of work with general intentions or something along those lines, I wouldn't exactly consider you being a witch. You're just more like a mindful person. Witchcraft is more of like nature and everything intertwined, is seeking knowledge, seeking understanding, seeking how you can work with yourself and the elements and those things around you. It's if you're striving towards more so like learning and practice and actively connecting, then I would consider it a bit more of like a witchcraft. But if you're just kind of, I don't know, I don't know how to, I'm not saying just meditating is bad, and if you meditate and you kind of don't do other things, you're not a witch. It's just, hold on. I'm trying to breach the subject earlier. I will be right back. Hold on. Okay. So I have been working on a ridiculously long poem type of thing of what it means to be a witch. And I will read a couple like stanzas from it, however it's called. Let's see. What does it mean to be a witch? Just calling yourself one won't make it true. It's not something you can force or something to buy. It doesn't matter where you're from or whose child are you. It's not a thing to go out and choose, not something you find or something you lose. It's something you feel inside, that voice which calls. It's something you have and you knew without clues. What does it mean to be a witch? It's to study yourself and all that's around. It's to seek out knowledge, wisdom, understanding, to follow the stars, the seasons, and cycles abound. It's a path of magic which never ends. It's to step into mystery and feel no fright. It's to speak your mind and to hear the truth. It's to sense the energies and to open your sight. And it goes on for a while. So that's a little excerpt, and it's kind of like a video that I'm working on. I think I've mentioned it in my past live. It's definitely taking a lot longer than I expected, but it turned out to be much longer explanation than I anticipated. And I've been, I don't know, pouring my heart into this. So stay tuned at some point. Hopefully by the end of this month it'll be up. Let's see. What else? Barnes and Noble or Amazon to find that book. I usually get my books from Amazon, but I am thrifty, so sometimes I find my books at a thrift store, and I would check Barnes and Noble to see if they have a sale before I would buy something off of Amazon or somewhere else. So I try to find good deals on my books, but this book you can find on Amazon. I assume that's the one you're referring to, The Life of Rye. Oh, hi, Ryans! Ah! Let's see. But what if I believe in my witchcraft? Doesn't that make it religious? Kind of. A belief is not exactly a religion. A religion is a structural format of specific things that happen with sort of like rules and followings. If you take Christianity for a reason, they kind of have a structure. If you take any Abrahamic religion, for example, whether it be Christianity or any branches from it, whether it be Judaism, any branches from it, or whether it be, oh gosh, what's the other one? Oh, I forget the other one. No. So there's three main branches of Abrahamic religions, and then there's segmental branches from that. But if you take an overall look, they kind of have a structure or a format to them, almost like a rules type of thing to follow. They have their book, like either it's the Quran or the Bible, regardless if it's First or Second Testament, whatever it is. They have more of a structure. Same thing with Wicca. Now, there's a bit of like branches off of Wicca, I think, nowadays, up until to this point. But Wicca also has a structure. So religion isn't exactly a belief. It's more of like a structural communal practice, if that makes sense. Wicca has their witches read, that's kind of their rule book. They don't exactly have, you know, a Bible type of book, but they have ideas and guides and like rules almost of what Wicca is and how to become a Wiccan. And a lot of the times, and a lot of practices or covens or things like that of a Wiccan belief is that you can't call yourself Wiccan unless you're part of a coven, unless you are ruled by like a high priestess or something like that. So religion is more structured, more based. Beliefs are more of your own personal, and a practice is just something that you kind of do without really following a format. I think that's how to explain it. I could be wrong, but that's my personal interpretation of it. Let's see. Magical hair. Are you talking about all of the frizz that's going on right now? Yeah, totally. Been learning 24/7 for 3 years. Yeah, yeah. There's no end to learning. Absolutely no end. Um, oh, awesome, Johnny. Let's see. Hungry for knowledge, not great at meditating. Love crystals and use them. That's awesome. Meditating, can be done in so many different ways. Um, just sitting cross-legged on the floor and like trying to blank out your mind isn't just the form, the only form of meditating. It is the most commonly known form for meditating. If you draw or color or kind of do any sort of artwork, that can be a form of meditation. So when someone says that they're not good at meditating, I assume that you're going off of like the very generic, not gen I wouldn't say generic, the very common known of what a meditation is. There is different moving meditations, there's sound meditations, there's guided meditations. So if your brain goes a mile a minute, like mine does, it's very difficult for me to get into the zone of meditating. And if anybody on the live chat here has been to any of my live rituals, you might have noticed that I move my hands around a lot. So I either place them on my chest and my abdomen while I meditate, or like switch the hands around, or have them facing up. It's a way to help me still release that energy that's going on 500 miles in my head. I have ADD. While still being able to focus and kind of letting my brain do its thing. So research different types of meditation and find something that helps you. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's see. What else? You're so smart, great at explaining. Aw, thank you. A heart for all of you. I'm glad to have you guys here. Mindful of the Sabbaths and trying to incorporate them in my life. Well, that might be more Wiccan. It appeals to me. It helps me feel connected. Following the Sabbaths is not exactly a Wiccan thing. You can consider it following the year cycle. Great segue into another next book. Let's see. Now, if only I can just find it. Aha. Oh no! Book avalanche. So, this has been, I finished this book maybe like 2 months ago, and it kind of like changed my life, changed my perspective of it. I have a more in-depth book review thing on my website of it, and it's To Walk a Pagan Path by Alaric Albertson. And it talks about how to incorporate nature and things around you into your everyday life. And he goes over things in such a wonderful, delightful way that is easy to add into your life. It's not like, oh, you need to be rigorous by this schedule. Every single full moon, you need to do this. Every single this, you need to do that in order to feel connected. No, no, no. He is wonderful at giving you like really great examples that are not only a great way to kind of connect with nature around, with any deities you want to work with, your ancestors, whatever it is, but also how to incorporate it easily into your everyday life, and also use it as a and have things also be like useful for everyday life. So one section of it is talks about gardening or keeping bees and things like that. So not only are you working with nature and literally putting your own energies into growing these things, you're also connecting with the nature as you're working with it by planting it, growing it, sowing it, all those things, taking care of it, and then you get to eat it and really connect with it since you've grown it yourself. And he gives really, really good explanations of how to make things work for your everyday life. It is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, I can't with my hair. Do I have a hair tie nearby? I know it's most likely not something people are paying attention to, but I'm seeing it start to rise and it's bothering me. Let's see. Hi, Lourdes. So being mindful of the Sabbats is really good because the year cycle affects us all. The season affects us all, and it's really good to start paying attention to it and start understanding how those energies work with you and with the life you're currently living. Let's see. Thank you for my good interpretation. Hand stitching fiber art pieces. Oh, cool. That's a really cool hobby. Huh. Is it like the fiber, is it the one that you do with like the little needle and it's like kind of a 3D thing? Or is that fiber, or it's, or is it more like cloth that you're working with? Because I'm not sure how that little like, I don't know what it's called. The little thingy that anyways, I'm moving on. My brain's gonna go off topic. Um Guided meditation. Awesome. I'm glad you like guided meditation. Let's see. Yes. A lot of trouble with Sabbats and important dates of the year, or I feel the cycles of the year more fluidly and I feel obligated to do something specific on just one date. If that's how you feel and how you want to work with the year, that's great. But I've tried doing the whole specific by date, specific by this, specific by that, and I feel like that just added so much more stress and anxiety into instead of just kind of feeling it and going with it. So what I like to do is definitely set things up on my calendar, set up reminders, all that fun stuff of when the Sabbath is happening, and try to kind of plan around it, but give myself leeway. If I'm feeling like I have a little bit more time before that date, like maybe a day or two before, I would start off my ritual or my practice or my meditation, whatever my plan is for that then. Or if I've kind of missed it on that day and I could, I caught it like a day or two afterwards, or maybe even a week afterwards, I still want to take the time to just sit down and like embrace those energies, because it's not like it just happens on that day and then everything else is gone. Energy is not like, how do I put it? Think of it of like a pan. Like you're trying to cook something on like a cooking pan, and it's a very, no, that's not a great example. Baking, an oven. Think of the energies like an oven. It needs to be at a specific degree to bake something in a specific way, and that's its like optimal moment where it's the best type of thing. But before it reaches that temperature for you to cook, it still warms up and has like that heat until it reaches that point. And once it reaches that point, it still needs to cool down, and it still has those energies until it cools down fully. So it's not like it's just there and then it's gone. It kind of has like a peak. So yes, if you do it on like that specific day, specific time, whatever that works, it is the highest energy connection that you can do for that specific whatever it is. If it's a Sabbath, if it's the full moon, if it's zodiac transition or specific thing, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, whatever it is. But you also have the other energies that you can still connect with it. It's not just right there. um, Hopefully that kind of helps ease some of the stress. It took me a while to kind of be okay with that. Let's see. Um, okay. I was part of what was supposed to be an open pagan learning circle, was there for 15 years, but a little before I had my daughter, I stopped going there. I'll stop most of my practices. Things stop. Sometimes there's a block. Sometimes you feel like you need to take a step back. See how it feels. You might want to come back. You might not want to come back. It depends on how you're aligning with the current energies, I would say. I don't think it's bad to stop practicing. And if you've been a practitioner for some time and then you stop practicing, that doesn't make you any less of a practitioner. You're just taking a break. You're helping figure out whatever you need to figure out, even though you're not actively trying to figure out whatever you need to figure out. Yeah. Let's see. Favorite season is Halloween and the fall. My favorite season is fall. I love the colors. I live in Massachusetts. I love the color changes. I love that like crisp, cool air in the mornings. And then when the leaves get all dry and falling, that like crinkly sound, love it. And Halloween is always fun too. Not felting. Felting, that's what it's called. Okay. Cloth scraps, form them into 3D dolls or objects. Awesome. Okay, so that's That's kind of what I meant. Thank you, Moxie. Let's see. Terrible baker, so that explains things. More of a cook. Hey, whatever works. A lot of anxiety, so they're good things to think about to improve my practice. Okay, that's why it's called a practice, because you're constantly practicing. There's no such thing as perfection. Practice makes improvement. Practice makes progress. There's no such thing as being perfect in anything. If you find out how to be perfect in something, please let me know, because that I strive for perfection, but never exactly like get there. Let's see. I'll be going to Salem again for my annual Salem visit to restock my tea. I will most likely do excuse me. I will most likely do another vlog on it, but I like to try to explore like slightly different things, different places. So it will be a little bit store-based. Definitely that crystal store. Oh, I can't go into that crystal store by myself. I need my husband with me at all times, because he is the voice of reasons that says, do you really need it? And my answer to that is, of course, yes, I definitely need it. But he helps coax me out of the store before I bankrupt the both of us. Let's see. All right, so let's see if I can scroll up easily to the next number. That was number 7. So I went through this pile. I'm going to go through that pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ha! So, going back to talking about religion. Oh, sorry, doggy. I don't mean to keep scaring you. Going back to talking about religions, I love to study various different religions. I'm an eclectic practitioner, so I like to take bits and pieces that resonate with me and make me feel like whole and complete and something that I want to follow or need to follow. That sort of thing. So don't freak out. This is the Geneva Bible, and it's a copy of the Bible from 1560. So this is before the King James revision, because the Bible has been revised multiple times and interpreted in different languages and sort of thing. So by now, I feel like it kind of lost some of its meanings that were originally there. And this is the pre-King James version, and it's a relatively older Bible, and it has, oh, I forgot, what is it? It's a facsimile of the University of Wisconsin's Press edition of the 1560 Geneva Bible. It has original commentary in the margins with maps and woodcut illustrations. And this has the, what is it called? It's the books that are missing from, oh, it's the books that are missing from the Bible, the ones that were taken out. I forget what they're called. There's a name for it. Hold on, I need to find it because it's a very important portion of it. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? The books that are taken out of the original, not the original, the Bible that is currently in production. Why isn't it? All right, I need to look this up because that section, it's one of the reasons why I ended up waiting or getting this type of Bible. The apocrypha, the apocrypha of the Bible. So the Bible that's currently in production now, like the King James, whatever version is out, it's fractions of what it used to be. And with different not kind of interpretations, but how do I put it? Translations, which end up changing some of the words. So this is written in Old English, and the font is ridiculously tiny. So if anyone is interested in studying, different portions of religions or Christianity, of where it came from and not what the King James wanted people to think it was, this is a really good book or like copy to have. So it's massive. It's definitely fun to kind of like read through it and look through it and that sort of thing. And it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve to figure out how to read Old English, but it has explanations and like guides of how to like read it, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I study various religions and Christianity is one of them. All right, so that's the next book. Slamming them down. I'm being nice to them, so I'm not destroying them. Picking up crystals at Ren fairs. Nice. What else? All right, talking about Salem. Let's see what the next number was so that I can move on to the, all right, that one was 7. Let's go 11. Let's see, start off with this pile, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. And it goes through various herbs and their explanations and representations and what their magical uses are. So I like this book but it's very magical association based or magical correspondence based. It has things like folk names, what it corresponds with, such as lettuce. Its folk name is garden lettuce or sleepwort. It is a feminine gender. The planet is moon. Element is water. Power is chastity, protection, love, divination, sleep. And magical uses, it has little bits of explanations such as rub lettuce juice onto the forehead or eat the leaves to have no trouble falling asleep. Lettuce when grown in a garden is protective, but some say that if too great an amount is raised, sterility will result in the household. So things like that. I like that. But I also how do I put it? I also like getting books that are more herbal and medicinal based. I'm gonna go grab one of them. I didn't